So Universal Audio just released a plugin. They've named it Topline Vocal Suite. Obviously, looking at the name Topline, that's already more of a marketing strategy to make you realize that this plugin is top of the range. But looking into it, is it really a Topline plugin, or is it just another bunch of plugins put together to take your money?
How is somebody just going to take my money?
Well, we will soon find out, because at $199, I think that's steep. So let's see if what it's offering is actually value for money, or is it just another plugin in the market. Let's look into it. So here's the plugin Topline Vocal Suite. Let's first look at what you get with this plugin, and then we will decide if it's really worth the money, because if you stick to the end, I will actually use this plugin to mix a vocal that already got a bunch of plugin mixed. As you can see, this is a vocal that I've already mixed. I'll actually copy this and I'll mix it again with this plugin. Then I'll show you guys obviously what it sounds like, and I'll tell you guys what I actually feel like is the strength of this plugin, and also what I feel like is really not great about this plugin. So first off the bat is a tuner. So you have another auto tune in the market. So this is obviously where you select your key. This is where you select if it's, minor or major. So you have option to also do, custom, so you can edit or ignore some notes. This is your retune speed as you will. This is the depth, 100%. So here there's option for key finder. So you actually can find the key for you, which is good. Now moving to the next section of effects, you have these other three. So one is your saturation. So you've got analog there. You can change this solid state to tube by just clicking on it. Then this is your color. This is saturate. You can also change a bunch of stuffs here. It's currently flat, bright, hyped, present, vintage. Then moving to your dynamic section, you have gate, which you can slide. You can also turn individual on or off if you don't want any particular module, which I think is good. Then here you have aggressive, tight, focus, transparent, warm. You can select that as well. This is your compressor, and this is your de-esser. So you can solo the de-esser to hear what frequency that is peaking, which is more for delta mode. Now this is the EQ from dynamic to EQ. Obviously you can change the EQ to dynamic if you want. The EQ, I feel like, is actually the first part of this module that I'm not really very impressed with. It's not that it doesn't sound good, but it's very limited. So you have option here to choose full range, mid-range focus, or brilliant. Remember, whichever one you select will determine where they put these notes for you, which is almost like a pre-selected frequency. So which means with this EQ, you can actually do what you want. So they have pre-selected it for you. Whatever they've selected is what you can do. So the ones on the bottom means you can use it to cut. You cannot use it to boost, right? The ones on the top, you can use it to boost. You cannot use it to cut. So remember that. The same with these ones, you can only use it to boost. You cannot cut. These ones you can cut. So just say that wherever the node is on the top of this line, that means you can boost with it. If the node is below this line, you can only cut with it. Yeah. And another issue is you cannot move the frequency, right? So it's that frequency where they've selected is where you can use. This to me is the first, alarm bell, which I'm not quite comfortable with, as a mix engineer that have actually, tried to sort of train my ears to know where the problem is. Vocals are different. So you cannot tell me that this EQ will cover all range of vocals, because you will get some vocals that may be around this area. Maybe let's say 400 is where you need to treat. Now, if we circle through this, there's none covering that 400 range. This you could say is around 400, but you can only boost, you cannot cut. So if I want to cut around 400 or whatnot, that means I have to reach for another EQ. This is one of the limitations, right? But let's keep moving. This obviously is your low end. You can boost or cut. High, this is air. As you can see, it's from 5K shelf, which is really good. I quite like it. You can put this to put a high cut, which is a high pass filter, low pass filter. We will try this plugin on a vocal, so bear with me. Now, moving to the section, which is the effect. This is now another limitation, I feel like, because effects is obviously best to have on a bus send, so you can use it on a multiple vocals. But with this, you can only use it on this vocal that you've put it on, so there's no option to actually move it to other vocals. But let's keep going. This, you have chorus, you can change it to doubler, flanger, widener, wild flutter. Then this is the blend. You can turn it on or off, which is good about the plugin in general, that you can turn each model off or on. This is your delay. You can select what kind of delay, cassette, digital. This is the mix blend. This is FX dock, so to dock it when the original sound is on, which is your main vocal. This is your reverb, plate, room, hall, chamber, ambience. That is it pretty much. So looking at this, to me, let's just head to the website so I can show you guys how much it is currently as I am making this video. So this is the UAD website, and as you can see, it's currently $199 for what I've just showed you, and they said it's 50% off. The original price will be $399. So to me, $399 already is nowhere near, because if I start picking each plugin they've got on this suite from different makers of the best, I'll definitely get the plugins, all these plugins, less than $399 or even around $199 to start with, because best autotune obviously is Antares, and the modulations and stuff, you can still even pick the ones that UAD themselves are currently selling on offer, you know, like the Echo or the other maybe double effect from Waves and so many other effect plugin makers out there. So what I'm basically trying to say is, if you start grabbing these effects one by one, you probably will not spend $199, or at most you won't spend $399 that they want to ask for this plugin. But with this plugin, obviously you are locked into one interface. Whereas for me personally, I like plugin that is separate. So if UAD will listen, they should also have these plugins separate, so that if you want to use it as a whole, like a suite, you can use it. Then if you want to use any particular module, you can also use it. Because for me, this is something about Isotope Nectar as well. I think on the advanced mode, you can also use separate channels, just like I believe in, you know, Isotope Ozone. The advanced, you have option to use it as a one suite, and you also have option to use the separate elements of the plugin suite. So if they can make this to also have all this separately, so that if you want to use just the tuning, you can use it. If you want to use the SR, dynamic, the saturation, you can use it. Then if you want to use any of this modulation, the delay, the reverb separately, you can use it, as well as the option to have it as a palette like this. That will be, you know, a change in the right direction. But for now, let's just see what it sounds like, because I feel like that is the most important thing. So this is a vocal that I've obviously mixed with a bunch of plugins. Let me go ahead and just copy the plugin to this channel. Now let me just send it to all vocal, because these are going to all vocal as well. So let me drop Topline on that particular one. Now let's try to mix it. This is what this one sounds like currently, just so your ear can pick what we are working to. Later on, I'll obviously play it with the beat, but for now, let's just hear the vocal in solo.
Frankie's man's son, I ain't Marilyn. Tying knots where the white rocks stink of paraffin. Challenging when I needed the Samaritans. Even trying to get out on my bed felt like a marathon. Talented, but my hands got calluses. Extravagant, but my brain ain't balancing out.
So this is the raw vocal, right? So now let's go ahead and tune this. I got it on G sharp minor. So let's just try the tuning.
Frankie's man's son, I ain't Marilyn. Tying knots where the white rocks stink of paraffin. Challenging when I needed the Samaritans. Even trying to get out of my bed felt like a marathon. Talented, but my hands got calluses. Extravagant, but my brain ain't balancing out. Used to want to make my family...
I think one other thing I actually missed out is this shift, which is more of a pitch shift. You have the pitch, you have the format, but obviously we don't need it, so I'll just turn it off. Now let's move to the next one, which is here. We have a bit of saturation going on already at 20%, saturate 2%. Let's check our gate and compressor.
Frankie's man's son, I ain't Marilyn. Tying knots where the white rocks stink of paraffin. Challenging when I needed the Samaritans. Even trying to get out of my... Got calluses, extravagant, but my brain ain't balancing out. Used to want to make my family proud, but the day I see, man, I'm banging them out and have it now. I'm a grafter, ain't got soft skin. I was on the power or I'm off grid. Problems, always telling me I'm toxic. Ain't airing problems, dirty laundry for the wash bin. Watching, really living it in Oxford. Really had it tough, I had it rougher, you know, posh kid. Watching, really... Frankie's man's son, I ain't Marilyn. Tying knots where the white rocks...
So now we're moving to the EQ. Obviously, I've got it dynamic into EQ. We can switch that to go from EQ to dynamic. So let's first get rid of the low end.
Frankie's man's son, I ain't Marilyn. Tying knots where the white rocks stink of paraffin. Challenging when I needed the Samaritans. Even trying to get out of my bed felt like a marathon. Talented, but my hands got calluses. Extravagant, but my brain ain't balancing out. Used to want to make my family proud, but the day I see, man, I'm banging them out and have it now. I'm a grafter, ain't got soft skin. I was on the power or I'm off grid. Problems, always telling me I'm toxic. Ain't airing problems, dirty laundry for the wash bin. Watching, really living it in Oxford. Really had it tough, I had it rougher, you know, posh kid. Watching, really... Frankie's man's son, I ain't Marilyn. Tying knots where the white rocks stink of paraffin. Challenging when I needed the Samaritans. Even trying to get out of my bed felt like a marathon. Talented, but my hands got calluses. Extravagant, but my brain ain't balancing out. Used to want to make my family proud, but the day I see, man, I'm banging them out and have it now. I'm a grafter, ain't got soft skin. I was on the power or I'm off grid. Problems, always telling me I'm toxic.
So this EQ is actually one of the biggest setback that I feel like on this thing, because it doesn't give you option to move around. Like this area could do with maybe a pull down. So if we go back to a different, let's say brilliant, or at least mid-range focus. So I actually feel like the EQ is one of the setback whereby it's very limited, but let's just keep moving. Now a bit of chorus effect. Let me just exaggerate it so you hear how it sounds like.
Frankie's man's son, I ain't Marilyn. Tying knots where the white rocks stink of paraffin. Challenging when I needed the Samaritans. Even trying to get out of my bed felt like a marathon. Talented, but my hands got calluses.
Oh boy, I must admit, this chorus sounds awesome.
Hot and spicy meat. Yeah, boy.
So this is the problem, like I said, if they have got this separately, at least you can pick the best ones and use it, and obviously let go of the ones that you don't want. They might argue that you can turn them off, but why throw things that you don't need if you have option to pick the ones that you will need? Let's move to the delay. So let me throw this footnote. Let's also make it a bit big and then I'll back it down.
Frankie's man's son, I ain't Marilyn. Tying knots where the white rocks stink of paraffin. Challenging when I needed the Samaritans. Even trying to get out of my bed felt like a marathon. Talented, but my hand calluses. Extravagant, but my brain ain't balancing out. Used to want to make my family proud, but the day I see, man, I'm banging them out and have it now.
So I prefer the digital delay. So let's now go to the reverb. Let's exaggerate that as well.
Frankie's man's son, I ain't Marilyn. Tying knots where the white rocks think of paraffin. Challenging when I needed the Samaritans. Even trying to get out of my bed felt like a marathon. Talented, but my hands got calluses. Extravagant, but my brain ain't balancing out. Used to wanna make my family proud, but the day I see, man, I'm banging them out and have it now. I'm a grafter, ain't got soft skin. I was on the power or I'm off grid.
So let's go back to the one that we had originally.
Real life, Frankie's man's son, I ain't Marilyn. Tying knots where the white rocks think of paraffin. Challenging when I needed the Samaritans. Even trying to get out of my bed felt like a marathon. Talented, but my hands got calluses.
The UAD one.
Real life, Frankie's man's son, I ain't Marilyn. Tying knots where the white rocks think of paraffin. Challenging when I needed the Samaritans. Even trying.
So let me go ahead and switch between them in solo, right? So this is our original vocal, then I'll jump to the UAD one.
Frankie's man's son, I ain't Marilyn. Tying knots where the white rocks think of paraffin. Challenging when I needed the Samaritans. Even trying to get out of my bed felt like a marathon. Talented, but my hands got calluses. Extravagant, but my brain ain't balancing out. Used to wanna make my family proud, but the day I see.
Okay, let's go to the UAD one. I feel like the problem we're getting currently is the fact that the reverb is a bit more, and also the fact that it's close. So let's just push the pre-delay a bit, maybe 30. Let's have a listen again to the UAD one.
Frankie's man's son, I ain't Marilyn. Tying knots where the white rocks think of paraffin. Challenging when I needed the Samaritans. Even trying to get out of my bed felt like a marathon. But my hands got calluses. Extravagant, but my brain ain't balancing out. Used to wanna make my family proud, but the day I see, man, I'm banging them out and have it now. I'm a grafter, ain't got soft skin. I was on the power or I'm off grid. Problems, always telling me I'm toxic. Ain't airing problems, dirty laundry for the waspin. Watching, really living it in Oxford. Really had it tough, I had it rougher, you know, posh kid. Watching, really.
So let me know on the comment section which one you prefer out of the two. Obviously, this one we have quite a couple of plugins going on. We have Antares as our tuner, which to me, I feel like Antares tuning sounds better than this tuning on the Topline. So you might obviously argue with me, but Antares tuning is better. So obviously, if I'm going to pay big buck for this, I can even settle for the Waves Tune Real Time for my tuning, which usually go for like $40. Then the EQ is Pro Q. We also have some of the UAD stuff because UAD do make great plugins. So their EQ P1A is here. Then you have, you know, SSL as well doing its thing. That's the thing that I mentioned about, you know, having option to actually pick the best plugins from each maker. Then you have Waves here, MV2, Pro DS. So you're basically picking the best of the lot, and here I have option to actually do a bit of a parallel and some tight reverb and some slap. So this obviously you cannot do with this plugin, except if you then put another instance to then do slap, then drop another instance if you want an 8 notes delay, you know. Whereas if they are separate, then you can just build your own chain and still have option to do this, like I said. So you have Suit 2 doing resonance thing, which on this one, there's no resonance suppression plugin on it on the Topline. So I feel like, you know, this plugin, there are things that are really great about it. Like this chorus, I quite like it. The digital delay is okay-ish, but there are other delay plugins out there that can do a lot better. You know, the Repeater by D16, Waves H delay, you know, Baby Audio Comeback Kit, I believe, or Baby Comeback. Then the reverb wise, UAD already have some great reverb plugins, and Valhalla reverb, you cannot knock it because it's about $50 and it's one of the best vintage verb. So there are a few that are really good here, like I said, but for what they're asking for this plugin, It's not for me, it might be for you, so I cannot speak to everybody, but I personally like plugin that is not chained to one rack. So you have option to select different ones. Until then, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. If you obviously have any question about this or you have anything you want to add to it, leave it on the comment section, but be polite. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. If you want me to mix your song, obviously hit me up as a verified engineer on EngineEars.com platform. Just search EngineEars.com/Zany Pro. And all this month and next month, if you are booking for the first time, you will get 40% off. If you've not joined my membership yet, if you want to learn about mixing and mastering one-to-one, and you want to actually hone it into your craft, hit me up. I'm also planning masterclass sometime this month towards the end. Hit me up, and if you want to find out more about it, obviously join my membership as well, where you see my full mix breakdowns and everything mixing. Until then, thanks for watching. Bye now.